years since we bought our P71 Crown Vic, and I guess it's time to do another review. It's time to get it inspected again. We bought it last August, and it's the middle of August now, so it is time to check some things out and get it re-inspected. I made an appointment for next Friday. I don't think anything's wrong. One thing that is currently up with it is the air conditioning stopped working last week, so it seems like we probably have a leak somewhere. So we'll let our man figure out where that all is, because I ain't messing with the air conditioning. Haven't really done anything to it. I just drive it. It's great. We put the tune from the Marty Tune, as they call it, from Moe's Speed Shop down in Georgia, and I mean, it runs great. Didn't do anything else to it. I mean, we put spark plugs in it, new air filter, put a new alternator on it, put new pads and rotors front and rear last year, and it had a bad thermostat, so that got changed, and I don't think we did anything else to it since. Just drove it. It's actually pretty fun to drive. So yeah, it was well worth it getting this car. Put about 8,000 miles on it over the year, so yeah, we used it. One thing I decided to tackle last weekend was the seating position. Now, I don't know if this is normal with these things, but sitting in this driver's seat, I mean, I'm not exactly short, and it was, you know, like you were sitting on the floor. I mean, there's probably a foot of room between the top of my head and the headliner. So, I mean, it was a bit too relaxed of a driving position for me. So what I did last weekend is I pulled the driver's seat out, and I took the original bolts out of the seat and used all thread to shim the seat up. I shimmed it up more in the back than the front, and that seems to have gotten us a little bit better of a position. I mean, now you're more up on the wheel, so it feels a whole lot different just having the seat like that, because now you can actually, you know, you're up on top of the wheel, so you can actually horse it through turns. So it's almost like driving a different car. So yeah, so it's been fun. Okay, it's time to shut up and go for a drive. And that's with nothing but the 91 octane Marty Tune from Moe's Speed Shop. It's the car, I mean, yeah, it's a little motor, and it's got to kind of rev up a little bit to really make any power, but yeah, it does. It's it's not the quickest thing in the world, but it's very respectable. And the irony of putting this tune in was I'm getting consistently better gas mileage with this 91 octane tune than with the stock tune. So we're getting, I mean, just driving back and forth to work every day, we're getting about 18.5 miles per gallon very consistently. So yeah, I mean, it's been great. I've had it for a year now.
driven it probably. No, I'll have to double check. Might be 11,000 miles. Oh, no. I keep thinking it had 111,000 when I got it, but I'm pretty sure it was 114. So double check that. Actually, the inspection sticker says 114, so it's got 122 on it now. So we are at about 8,000 miles that we put on it. Last week, like I said, I changed the seating position, moved it up so you're more on top of the wheel. You can really feel what's going on better in this driving position than, leaned back, low down gangster position like we were in before. I mean, even with it up, I think I raised the back of the seat at least 1.5 inches. Maybe closer to 2 inches, and I raised the front of the seat at least 1 inch. And I still have, I don't know, I've probably got 4 or 5 inches, and I'm just about 6 foot tall, so it was down too far. Maybe it's just that the padding in the seat has collapsed some, but it was definitely not a great performance driving position, but this is pretty good. This will do. One thing I've noticed just since moving the seat up is I tend to drive it harder through the turns now. So now I'm really noticing the fact that we need to do some suspension upgrades, and there's stuff worn and stuff like that. From what I've seen, it sounds like the biggest thing you want to do is play with the back suspension, basically, and get rid of the stamped steel trailing arms and Watts links, because they're kind of weak, and being that this car's a 2009, that stuff is pretty wore out by now. And if we're going to drive it like this, I mean, there are quite a few companies that make, milled aluminum ones. Basically, I guess they're milled out of billet aluminum or something like that. So, and they're not terribly expensive or anything, so no reason not to get them. This car is a little silly. I mean, Why is a big, inexpensive car like this much fun? I don't know. Try this again with the traction control off. I suppose I could power brake it to make it burn out better, but not all that into burn holes. Driving through town is this car's real strong point. This road is really bumpy. And this car just soaks up the bumps. I mean, it soaks them up firmly. You definitely feel them, but they're not, you know, it's not bone jarring like it would be in the 944 driving on this road. Jesus, it's 7 o'clock. That was my mechanic's place. 7 o'clock on Friday night, he's still there working. I would imagine he's a little busy these days. This part they didn't do yet. This is about how bad the rest of the road was. Across the top one more time. Still hard to believe a car like this could do that. I mean, I know you can't feel that in the camera because you can't feel any of the G-forces or anything. But I hope the video somewhat allows you to appreciate that kind of side load. I guess the moral of the story is go out and find yourself a P71 Crown Victoria. They're about the cheapest, funnest car you're going to find. Make sure you get a good one. I mean, they are inexpensive, so you might as well get a good one. Well, what I looked for was a car that was not a daily patrol car. That always helps. You can tell because they're either going to be painted black or white, or you know, there's some other optional colors that the more high-end ones get. But they're going to be more expensive. If you just stick with a black or white one, I'd go with white because I like white. You know, you can't really go wrong. Because most of these cars, they're fleet cars, they maintain them very regularly. You know, oil changes every 5,000 miles. They check the brakes and make sure everything's okay on them and replace them at regular intervals. Tires get rotated in and out, and they include the spare tire in the rotation too. So yeah, I mean, they're still, even in this crazy used car market we got right now, they're still a good bargain. Most of the stuff that will break on it is not hard to fix and not expensive, and there isn't really that much stuff that breaks. So go get one. I'm having fun with mine, that's for sure. All right, so that was a ride in our 2009 Crown Victoria with the Moe's Speed Shop Marty 91 octane tune in it. Runs great, as you can see. Other than that, it's all the way it came from the factory. Fortified with P71 goodness.
And it's just been a great car. So yeah, that's about it.